Why hello, it's me, Mr. Sasaki, and today we're facing the D mode note reading on viola, specifically D major, right? So D major is the key and scale that we used in Suzuki Viola Book 1 from Twinkle Twinkle all the way up to Perpetual Motion. Now if you know how to read notes already, congratulations, this could be a review. If you don't, this is your crash course, all right, in note reading for D major. I really want to just focus on the essentials and how to get you to read the pitches on this music staff for D major. All right, so here we go. What we need to start with is the 5 lines going across, and we have 2 sets of them, okay, above and below. These are called the music staff, all right, so 5 lines, the music staff. Just know that each line and space is associated with a pitch, okay? And so if we go up, think of it as like a ladder or a staircase. If we go up, the pitches get higher. If we go down, the pitches get lower. What we have here is the alto clef, okay? This is the clef that violas use most often. We do use treble clef when we're more advanced music later on. Let's not worry about that. For book 1, it's all alto clef. The alto clef is beautiful. It looks like kind of like a Doric column that fell over, right? It's kind of boop. This is another type of alto clef. It's just like a K. You'll see this in your printed music, and you'll sometimes see this in handwritten music. What both of these do, though, is feature that center line, okay? Right here. Boom and boom, all right? That's super important because that's middle C on the piano, and it's our pitch C. So anytime that we see the center of the alto clef, we know that that's C. And we can go up to the space, that's D, below space, D. Okay, so we just count up the musical alphabet or down the musical alphabet. But that C is very convenient to have. What we need to know next is how our open strings look on the music staff. Okay, so here we go. We have C, G, D, and A. All right, notice that the C is hanging out kind of low here. There's a what we call a ledger line. It's kind of like a placekeeper, a little dash there that sort of simulates another line below, just for that note, C. G is the bottom space, D is second space at the top, and A is floating on the space above the 5 lines, the staff. Let's talk about lines and space notes, okay, within the 5 staff lines. So we have F, A, C, E, G, all right? There's no easy way. I was trying to think about this over and over. There's face G from the bottom up, so that's the way I learned it, face G. I just thought of this one, and I don't know if you like it, but I said fact, all cows eat grass. All right, so fact, all cows eat grass. F, A, C, E, G, face G, whatever you want to think about that. Okay, those are your line notes. For the spaces in between there, we have G, B, D, F, or good boats do float. Again, G, B, D, F, good boats do float. The key to remember, though, that I wrote above here is that anytime you have an open string or a second finger, it is a space note. All right, so that's all of these space notes. Anytime that we have 1 and 3, it is a line note. All of these are line notes. Okay, so anytime you have a note on a line or a ledger line on top of it, 1 or 3. Let's just talk about our D scale here, okay, and we'll kind of show you on the viola. So what we have, open strings are depicted as open notes here, hollow notes, so D and A, okay? What we need to really kind of pay attention to is just the zone of the D string, and then anything above here is A string zone. So D is the second space from the top, 1 is going to be that line above, space above is 2, line above that, 3. Then when we go to the space, that's already A string zone, do you see? Or 4th finger on the D string, but in this case, A string zone. So this is all we have to do, D string zone, A string zone. Because you'll notice that this is a D pitch, this is also a D pitch, okay? I have students always saying, oh my gosh, which D is it? Oh, I see D, this is very different looking down here from up here, okay? So we want to make sure that we know that this is open D, this is 3rd finger on A. So below, I wrote 2 different ways of labeling your fingers, okay, or these notes. Below, I have the letters. Let's get the pitch. D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. If we're doing the one above that, this is the finger numbers. This is my favorite. D, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Because if you're thinking, if we're doing D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E. Okay, so what does that mean on viola? Right? It's a little bit weird. But if I say D, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, much easier, right? I'm always interested in knowing what's the most direct way to get the pitch mechanically to what I need to do to get that pitch to come out of the viola, okay? So I am a big proponent, as you know, when I'm doing my singing practices and boss practice, using string, open string name, so D, A, and D, 1, 2, 3, and using the fingers in between, right? Not necessarily the pitches. You do need to know the pitches, that's why I put them down here, but really, what I'm most concerned about, and I think what is going to be most useful for you as a beginner starting out, think about the finger numbers, because that's what's going to be the most immediate way to get that pitch to come out of your viola. The thing to remember is that our spacing is just going to be the same that our classic fingering, okay? So it's going to be D, 1, 2, 3, then A, 1, 2, 3, okay? So again, that's going to be space, space, close, and space, space, close. I'm just going to kind of play it here, okay? Stick my viola in the way here. So I'm just going to show you. It's going to be D, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3. And we can go backwards. Okay? And it's all just the same spacing on both strings. Very, very easy. All right. So the best way to practice this is just to kind of play up and down the scale, just kind of, or play through your music and just kind of, you can write in the finger numbers for now, just to kind of get yourself to associate which ones, and you can kind of see where they fit. And eventually, you're just going to associate, boom, this is first finger, this, third finger G. You should be able to do it easily. What you can use is this book, all right? Not specifically this one, but this is the violin version, but the viola version of this. It's called I Can Read Music by Joanne Martin. That's Joanne, last name Martin, Martin, okay? But if you look up I Can Read Music, Joanne Martin, this will show up, all right? You want book 1. And something to look to make sure you have the right one is Suzuki books are color-coded, right? So the violin books are blue. What you want is the purple printing, see? Like that. Okay, so it would be the same picture, but just purple instead of blue. This is a really great book, and I love to use this with my students, so maybe I will do a tutorial, and we can talk about how to use this in a future video. All right, but this is what you need to know for D major. All right, I'll see you next time.